I woke up so early, up back in my bag, and I gave you a kiss. I remember that day you told me that I could go to the hill. And now you're calling me baby, cause you're going crazy and you can't get me out of your head. 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 I don't like to say goodbye, and you're ready now. People always talk about all the things they're all about. Write it on a piece of paper. Got a feeling I'll see you later. There's something about this, let's keep it moving. And if it's good, let's just get something cooking. Cause I really wanna rock with you. I'm feeling some connection to the things you do. I don't know what it is that makes me feel like this. I don't know who you are, but you must be some kind of superstar. Cause you got all eyes on you no matter where you are.
Well, hello and good evening. Welcome on in. We are live once again for round number 8 here in the wonderful Spain. How are we doing tonight, chat? How is your week going?
Baby, take a look around. Everybody's getting down.
And
Deal with all
looking
the
like
problems later.
we are
Bad boys on
dry
the behavior.
conditions.
There's something about this. Let's keep it moving. And if it's good, let's just get something cooking.
Poll in the chat at the moment. Thoughts on the new Spain layout, obviously. If you join us on Tuesday and if you have the game, you will, I'm sure, be used to the new layout by now. Instead of the chicane in Sector 3, we got a couple of fast right-handers, which helps with the flow of the track. And I guess not really many people enjoyed that chicane. Let's get going. At the moment, it's a 4-star review for the new Spain layout. 1 vote on the 5-star. Now, that's ruined my surprise. TD is due to commentate with me tonight. He was in the party. No longer, and has left the session, so I assume his game must have had a bit of a malfunction. Took the grid a minute to choose tire allocation. You're not ready for this race. Let's go on board then with IIRL J. Evening TD, are we there?
Yeah, I am here. I forgot to change over to my good Wi-Fi.
Ah, there we go then. Well, welcome in, TV. Welcome to Thursday nights again.
Good to be. Can't go longer with this commentary.
Indeed. And it's always nice to share the comms box with you.
Is it?
For me, yeah. You can ask the chat what they think if you want.
Well, I don't agree with you.
Rush just coming to the end of his first lap.
Who?
Ross.
You said this?
Did I?
Yeah.
There. It's not a good start. Ross then across the line. It's an 11.7. Not too bad to kick off Q1.
That's nearly faster than my TT time.
It's yeah, it's not far off mine either, so I'm not going to say anything. Hello, chat.
That's even closer to my TT time.
That is my TT time.
Commentators in the mud, in the mud. Commentators in the mud.
There's a reason why we're behind the commentary mic and not on the No, in the go.
Anyway, back to me actually.
Oh, lots of chats that I've missed already. It's a good start. Welcome in, Samantha. Got to show some support to the other leagues. Fair enough. Good evening, Daniel. Hello to Rids. Good attendance this week, says Cod Camper. Very much so. Zidane is 12.1, half second off the biggest time so far. Jacob and Avenicus posting times. Safe to assume Avenicus can go quicker than that.
Pedro's coming towards the line on the mediums. It'd be interesting to see what he does compared. Only 3 kills off Daniel.
Yeah, CM21 has been pretty pacey, I think it's fair to say. Maybe not as
And I know.
maybe not the most consistent we've seen.
Qualified session. Setup.
Maybe not the most consistent we've seen CM21, but
No.
in terms of overall pace, very, very impressive. And I could only ever dream of being that quick on the mediums.
And he's got a bit of a qualifying setup on at the minute, and we'll end up changing for the race. So it's definitely one to watch out for at the minute.
Rids, don't forget we did not give the prize for last Thursday due to some incidents, so we're giving it today. So, announcement for you all. Tonight we will have £20 gift card to the winner of the fastest lap. If you're in it, you can win it.
I pick the last car.
No. It's too late. You've chosen your fate.
I don't even know what the last car is. Look at them.
I don't know. I can't bother looking, to be honest.
I'm looking now. It's bothering me.
What is it? Ferrari. It's Ferrari.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
On
No,
board
it's
then.
Joseph's joining there, that's why.
Oh yeah. There we go. 10-10 then. The only driver this season to have won a race in 81 and NA. Very esteemed young gentleman is 10-10. Oh, and that is a
That
snap.
isn't ideal.
That is a snap to put a crocodile to shame, that one. I don't care. I know it was bad. I don't care. Mr. Wiggles, I'm not ready for this sweat. Well, you got to be ready, I guess. Wiggles had some awful disconnection problems on Tuesday, so hopefully they are fixed and sorted, and hopefully we don't have a repeat of that. CTFD has given us a disclaimer. Ignore my first run if it goes bad, because I'm running no TC, that is traction control for those who don't know, and manual gears to start with. So CTFD has an excuse for that invalidation.
Just get rid of all these CTFT.
Even I've got rid of some of my assists. In fact, all of them now. I'm full-time NA. I bet you never thought I'd be saying that, TD.
No. I like you, no. I bet you thought about the same with me, but when I was
Nah,
a few years ago.
nah. I always knew you would. Eventually, whenever that happened, I knew you would. For me, I had it in my mind that I would only go no assist by the wheel. Just trying to trail brake on a pad is dreadful. So, you know. Greg across the line, 12.0, not too bad at all.
That is extremely satisfying that his teammate is right behind him and only the last 2 digits are swapped.
I was about to say the same thing. It is very satisfying. You've beaten me to it. Veloce across the line,
Too fast.
11.7. And thank you for the follow, Barber Jr. I believe you are officially our 700th follower, so thank you very much for that follow. I've been keeping an eye on that total for a long time, wondering when we're going to hit 700, but thank you very much. We really appreciate that.
Gonna know a great shock.
Go on.
Josh and Deflated are still in the pits.
Yes, it's a common theme. Well, it's a common theme for Josh. I think Deflated has decided to copy him, if I'm honest.
Yes, yes.
Joseph Ells, there's a giveaway from last week carry over to this week. Yes, it will. £20 on offer for the fastest lap of the race. I'll be honest,
Your name is Joe Defenders.
I haven't advertised it. So we may have to advertise it in the Discord. Are you right to do that,
I'm
Tom?
putting the message on.
Thank you.
Put the message on.
Soft to medium delta, says Josh, is 0.371 seconds for reference, so just under 0.4 of a second. So I think with CM21, he's just over 0.3 off, so his soft run will be around the top with Daniel. Evening Goldilocks, and evening Johnny B, and evening Miklos. Hope you're all really, really well. Nice to have you all here tonight. And after the nightmare of last week's Midnight Monaco Grand Prix, of he who shall not be named, doing those things which shall not be named either, we move on. He who shall not be named has been swiftly kicked from the league and will never ever return. And that's all we can say on the matter.
I am right in saying it's fastest lap, isn't it?
Yes. And about time one of the Red Bulls is out. Having said that, I have left it
And
incredibly
Josh is
late.
going out now as well.
Well, Deflated has... he's not got traffic, he is the traffic, so he's just had to get out of the way of people. 1010 is currently in the drop zone, which obviously is not ideal for him. Oh, I've stolen Deflated's phrase accidentally. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry, He'll kill me for stealing this phrase. 1010 improves in the final sector, but only 12.4, so might find himself a bit more under pressure on his final run. I imagine 1010 will be in for some soft tyres. Okie doke. TD's pizza's ready.
You know what's happening.
It's pizza time, if anyone knows that meme. It's a great meme. On no assist, says Miklos, I did a 1 minute 11.7 on mediums, so that's pretty impressive. We don't know if everyone has hooked up a perfect lap or not. This is just initial pace. Mr. Wiggles has put his connection issues behind him. Oh, CTFD, that's off track. And I'm sure he will not be happy with me that I've got that on stream. So let's swiftly move on to Deflated then. Yes, I'm very well, thank you, John. Evening Snacks, you were drowsy. Nice to meet you, Drowsy. I'm Sandra. Deflated, 1 minute 12.1 should be pretty safe. However, saying that, there's only 8 tenths separating the whole field right now. So really anything can happen, and Deflated up there in P8 at the moment. Safe to assume not guaranteed safety in this session. I think everyone in the 1 minute 11s should be safe. Let's go on board with Venicus, who is on a slow lap. So let's go with Jacob, who has matched his personal best in the first sector. Just saw a few moments ago, Mr. Wiggles has gone quickest in Q1. 1. 111.6.
Boom.
You scared me. CM21, 11.4. Not going to get too excited about Q1. I have done in the past. But yes, the whole field is very close. Only 1 second now. With the top 17, Josh and CTFD, no times on the board as of yet. Jacob looked like he was going to back out into the pits, but made no sense to. Finished the lap. 3/10 improvement. 1 millisecond ahead of Deflated, and could be safe on that. I've no idea. Where is he? There he is.
I wouldn't want to say he's safe.
No,
At the minute, he's safe by 2/10.
yeah, I've said everyone in the 1 minute 11s is pretty much safe, but it's hard to really call with the field being this packed together.
I think up to Greg, you're under a bit of pressure.
Well, I don't expect either of those two AlphaTauris to drop out in Q1.
I think you're under a little bit of pressure.
We're expecting
Just in case
Josh.
someone improves by 10.
We're expecting Josh to jump up to near the top. We're expecting 10-10 near the top.
10-10 snacks.
Maybe Snacks as well. Ooh, that's a little bit off track from Snacks, but gets away without an invalidation. Lucky for him.
I think top session is done.
And Snacks, P6, so has got pretty fortunate with running off the track there. A couple corners from the end.
Snacks will be safe now.
You know what? I covered Josh too much in quali, so let's cover CTFD instead.
I will watch Josh.
1010 says he's struggling with the lower wing, so must have changed his setup from Tuesday night, where he took a glorious victory. Had a really solid race, didn't put a foot wrong. Well-deserved victory on Tuesday night for 1010. I'm hoping to make it 2 out of 2 this week. Camper says him and Top Gun are on the exact same time, indeed. The times being so quick, you're bound to have that at some point. Smaller Smiley, following up from his impressive showing on Tuesday night in both quali and the race, which earned him driver of the day, I believe, up to P6, just behind his teammate Veloce. So good run there for Smaller, and that will see him through to Q2 without any problems. CTFD has decided to turn full traction back on the car for this run.
As long as Josh keeps it in the lines within this final corner, he should be free.
And CTFD goes 9th with that time. Nice time. Should see him through now with only... Oh.
Oh.
Wow. Only 14th for the reigning champion.
Well.
And he's on medium tyres and only 30 seconds left of the session. If 2 of these bottom 5 can beat him, Josh will be out in Q1. 1010 has beaten him and done the exact same time as CM21.
Top Gun's out.
Top Gun's pitted and Avenicus has gone 9th. Josh is out in Q1. Did anyone see that coming? Please put your hands up, because I did not.
I did. It was.
He's just not, though, is he? So Josh and Top Gun are out. Camper is out there improving.
He's backed out though. Felix is on a lap.
So Camper looks to be out. Swimming with the fishes. And Felix Baker is cooking.
Doesn't have much ARS though.
1/10 up.
Needs a bit more in this final sector.
Needs just under 0.2 of a second to beat Zidane Smithy, but Zidane Smithy is out on track as well and could be improving as we speak. Deflated is also now in trouble. He's in 14th place. Felix goes ahead and pushes Zidane out. Deflated, you can see those, jumped up to P3 with that time and is through.
Zidane's out.
And Zidane is into the pit. So, with only 8/10 separating the whole field,
That's the most far long.
Cog Camper and Top Gun on the exact same time, qualifying 19th and 18th respectively. Josh is the biggest shock though, out in Q1 for the first time, I believe, in this whole league. I can't remember the last time Josh failed to get out of Q1. And Zidane Smithy, unfortunately, just missing out by about 0.04 of a second there. Jacob, the lucky one, perhaps, to scrape through. That's not ideal. That's his phrase, TD.
Yeah.
Yes. So, in the first time in recent memory, two drivers share the same time at the top of the leaderboard in a qualifying session. And two drivers share the same time at the bottom of the leaderboard. Ironic.
I wonder if
and
that ever happened.
Probably never in my lifetime. I'm sure it's happened at some point, somewhere, some other league. But certainly not when I've been commentating on it.
This is
Dub
what
quality
I
lap.
mean about how tight it was. Hadjin Greg were up in 5th and 6th, and then they ended the session in 11th and 13th. Shows how
But I was
tight it is.
correct in saying they wouldn't go out.
I did say we were under a bit of pressure, which I was.
We're both right.
If Top Gun and Josh wasn't so washed, they might have been under even more pressure.
No one's washed. All 8/10 separated. I'm not washed. I got points on Tuesday. Going back to no TC and manual again for first run, so ignore me please. We will not be ignoring you. It's not nice to ignore people. But we will bear that in mind.
That is very nice. I live in the people.
And just by looking at the names in this Q2 session, it's impossible to predict who's going to drop out here. Jacob was on the fringe. Both AlphaTauris in the end were on the fringe, so maybe those drivers mentioned just now will have to put in a perfect lap to get through. But I think if Q1 taught us anything, TD, it's that you can't take anything for granted in this tier anymore.
Pretty much not. It's basically get a perfect lap, otherwise you're kind of going to be out without tires.
I'm running 5 less wings on both front and rear downforce compared to Tuesday. Okay, so safe to say 1010 has to adapt to that setup. His teammate is the first one out. We've already covered a Ross lap, so we will go with Felix instead. Very wary of trying to get as many different people involved in a quali as I can. So, no offence, Ross.
What you smell?
You just had to say it, didn't you?
Yeah.
1 minute 10 for pole needed. Most probably JJ. Can't remember what the pole lap on Tuesday was actually. Tempted to say 10.6.
10.8, I think.
Was it 10.8? I think it was a 10 point something.
I'm going to look. It was definitely a 10.
Oh wait, no, it was Daniel, and it was an 11. It was 11.0. Yeah, it was 11.0. So we may see a 10.9. People getting used to the track. Some drivers here do NA on Tuesday and AT1 on Thursday, so the more practice you get on a track, generally the quicker, generally speaking, you're going to get. Ross 11.5, couple tenths quicker than what he managed at the start of Q1. Felix 12.1. Plethora of drivers approaching the line. Got the Ferrari of Jacob, Alfa Romeo, Jacob 12.1. 12.2, sorry, Veloce Dragon 12.0, Daniel 11.4, Greg 12.0,
Close to the line.
11.7, not too bad. 10.10 has
10-10.
crashed,
Crashed.
and we'll see,
Okay, yeah.
hopefully, you can kind of
I
see
know
where his
exactly
car
what
is.
he's done there.
Yeah, he's just crashed at this complex of corners there. His
It's
car
a
went.
little bit outside curb and it'll just flatten out, so it's just one of those annoying curbs on this game.
Yep, and with parc fermé conditions on, 10-10 can't change that rear wing back to what he had it before. So he can change the front wing, but not the rear wing. So unfortunately for 10-10, he's going to have to. He's made his
Let the
bed.
drive through 10-10.
He's made his bed,
Starting
and
the pits.
he's going to have to lie in it, I'm afraid. I'm not saying it deflated. I'm letting you be the keeper of that phrase. Smaller Smiley's on the lap, and I think CM21 has almost blocked him there. That would have been a huge distraction for Smaller. We'll see how much of a distraction that was. 11.8, so not too bad in terms of a distraction. CTFD is not on a flyer after that 1 minute 33.1 earlier. Mr. Wiggles is out. You accidentally took the chicane in 5th gear. Oh wow.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's probably why. What's the forecast for the race? I have no idea, Joseph. But Deflate says it's dry, so thank you very much. You saw nothing.
Massive lull.
I'm not sure we did see anything, CTFD. I'm not sure what you're referring to.
I certainly didn't see it. So.
Maybe
got away with it.
Maybe CTFD span or cut the track or something, or
Probably, yeah.
had some kind of boo-boo. Good. Go on, Danny. Who's Danny?
Mr. Wheels.
Oh yeah. So, Mr. Wiggles, as you've already said, struggling with connection on Tuesday. Hopefully he can connect these corners really nicely for this lap. Let's go on board, shall we?
Interesting to see what line he does here. Interesting. He takes a wider line. Some people in that corner like to take a tighter line. Like with this one as well, but seems like Wiggles opts for a wider line.
I know you opt for more of a flat line, a tight line.
I'm kind of a bit of both. In the race, I would definitely use the wide line, but in qualifying it just gains that extra 1,000.
Mr. Wiggles took 7 and 8 really well there, that left-right chicane. Couldn't have done that any better. Opting for 3rd. Some people opt for 4th for the long turn 10, and that's wide, and he does the snacks. Gets away with it
Because
by...
he let off quite a bit, so kind of got lucky.
Will it hinder his time? No.
Yeah.
11.6.
I'd say he lost at least a tenth and a half there, so it should be second really.
Josh, just realised me, Top Gun, and Joseph are all starting in the bottom 4. Well, as TD would say, you're all washed.
They are.
But I'm not saying that. I'm a real one, you know. I don't say that. Deflated then.
Wow, instinct.
Escaped with a P14, and that is much more like it. Much more deflated. He'll be much more
Oh, Veloce.
happy with that. Oh, what's happened with Veloce?
Went third fastest.
Very nice. I think that happened just after deflated.
It did.
Yes, that's why I missed it.
Literally like 2 seconds after.
Snacks P2. Lovely.
I can't lie, I am glad I am not racing the dark processes.
Well, to be fair, there is a decent 22-second gap between first and 13th right now. It's I think we need to close this gap up in this league.
No disrespect my man CTFD there.
I'm not disrespecting him.
Chaz is on a good lap on his 4 attempts up.
Hello, George Plaster. How are you doing?
George, get rated.
Yes, George's shift patterns at work have changed, so unfortunately has dropped to reserve. Still leads the championship though after the
There you go.
shambolic race we had last week. No points were awarded. The race has been voided. That is still on the Twitch channel and will be on there for a week. So if you want to watch it,
Don't watch it.
make sure you watch it in the next week. It will be deleted forever in the next week. So that's your one
I'm gonna
warning.
screen record the whole thing.
I hope not. But it
I'm
won't
gonna
be
do it.
posted to YouTube for obvious reasons.
I will post it on my own personal YouTube channel.
No, you don't have a personal YouTube channel. CTFD then, third time lucky. First one was a 33, sorry, then did a 28 after he backed off his previous run last lap.
Now this is going to be pole position.
Well, this is his third lap on this set of tyres, minimum, after the out lap and the banker lap last time around, so this may not be the best time
Just been
CTFD.
a warm up. So maybe he's struggling with tyre warm up on the out lap.
My guess is he's switching between different assists at the moment, so that consistency is bound to just drop
Ooh.
and a small snap.
Close.
I think it's probably better news for CTFD that he kept that valid, because this time will still count.
Oh, that's committed.
11.8, not bad, and currently in the top 10.
I think he might be able to get in and out of the pits as well.
You better see it in the under-season highlights. You better ask Padge very nicely then.
What's that?
My man is going off from full traction off to medium traction and that qualified me. Trenches. Josh's sense of humour is amazing. I love Josh's sense of humour. His meme game is strong as well.
It's not as strong as Killian's. Which I am sad Killian is not there.
Yes, that happened very abruptly earlier this week. Killian's announced, I think on his socials, that he's taken a break from racing, including IRL. He'll still be around in the Discord, I imagine, but
I think it might be a permanent thing, to be honest. I think he's just struggling with time as he gets to that age where he becomes an adult.
what happened to 1010? 1010 has changed his setup from Tuesday night. As a result, he's got a little bit less downforce and just unfortunately binned it in turns 7 and 8 chicane. So that's why 1010 is out.
I don't think it's unfortunate, personally.
We can agree to disagree then. Yes.
Anyone that doesn't understand me and 1010 are very good friends.
Mr. Wiggles coming to the end of a time, currently up in P7 on an 11.6, just a 1/10 improvement, which he has got.
Yeah.
Puts him up into the top 4, so Mr. Wiggles will be safe. I imagine anyone with an 11.6 or quicker is probably safe in this session.
That's a 10.5 improvement that I was saying.
Yes, from the slight mistake at this corner we're witnessing at the moment.
Yeah.
Very astute analysis, TD. Should work on the SkyPad.
For a commentator.
No, you should get on the
Anthony
SkyPad.
Davidson, eat your heart out.
10-10 15th. What in the reverse grid is this? Amazing comment. Smaller than.
Josh, Top Gun, and Jordan. Who would have predicted that?
In the bottom 5.
6.
6. Wow. Avenicus in the pits. So we'll be out of this session, and Padge has just come back into the pits as well. So no improvement on that 12-0 for Padge. Decent pace from Padge. Hasn't raced an awful lot this season, but I'm sure he'll be happy with that lap. And only a couple of tenths away from a spot in Q3 as things stand. CTFD has retired from the session, so if Felix or Jacob can beat that 1 minute 11.8, CTFD will be out.
I don't know whether you've picked up on it. Or Jacob just behind.
11.9.
The Ferrari is in a nice new livery of Jacob. So it's
It
a little
is.
thing to pick up on.
The red and the yellow. Smaller to the line, matching his personal best through Sector 2, and a 1/10 improvement in the last sector gets him above Greg and into Q3.
It's all down to Felix and CTFD now.
Bit of a snap coming out of 5, but don't imagine it would have cost him an awful lot of time, but another snap out of 7, that's not amazing for Felix's perspective.
A little bit of too early turning, but
It is improving.
Tight.
So CTFD...
if he carries on with that, it goes above CTFD.
CTFD on a 0.895, Felix on a 0.923, just needs 29 milliseconds improvement, but
Kept it flat
will he
then,
get
isn't
it? Yes, he will. And CTFD has been pushed rather forcefully and marginally out of Q2.
CTFD will occur from Felix's name. They are good friends. I know that.
Padge did not have enough fuel to go again, so that's why he pitted. Mr. Wiggles lost just under 2 tenths in Sector 2. So it could be on for a 0.4 or a 0.3. But CM21, 11.1 in Q2. Very impressive.
That qualifying setup coming into play, I imagine.
And with the new layout of Spain, we do have race records up for grabs. The only real thing to compare it to is Tuesday night. So if we beat that on tonight from Tuesday night, then we may have a new record holder. At the moment, 10:10.
If you get into the 10s, you've got it.
Yeah, Daniel Season set a 1 minute 11.007
Yeah.
on Tuesday. CM21 only a tenth and a half away. A very star-studded collection of drivers in a wide range of constructors forming Q3. CTFD, Jacob, Padge, Avenicus, 1010 out in Q2.
Very tight once again, as we always know. And the man, the myth, the legend has joined the session.
Is that Joseph?
It is.
I wouldn't say legend. I'd say myth.
Wow.
More than legend.
Wow.
I know he's in the chat, so I know he's going to get triggered.
I wouldn't be having it if I was you, Jonas.
Excuse me, sir. Mr. Wiggles, all ties for me now, apart from one. So the new set that is reserved for Q3, Mr. Wiggles has. The others are scrubbed. As if the little rat stung me by. CTFD, man. What are you calling him a little rat for?
They're good friends.
I know they're good friends, but people might not know that.
I did say it on stream.
Oh, there's a bit of Tetris happening in Sector 2. He's getting headlocked. Do you know each other in person? Or is it kind of like an Xbox friendship where you haven't really met each other?
I wonder where that happens. I wonder who's got a friendship like that.
We don't need to talk about this. You've known each other since 11, that is awesome.
That is extremely cringy.
And Snack's deciding not to go at this leisurely pace. He says Daniel's got a bit too much track in front of him. I'm going to invade his personal space a little bit. Johnny B gifting to the community. Thank you very much for the gifted sub. Wolfie, if you're in the chat, thank Johnny B. That is a very kind and generous gesture. Thank you very much, Johnny B. Daniel season then. Let's see if he can replicate his 1 minute 11.0. He's got a little bit of traffic. Snacks ahead has, I think, messed up his first sector, so has backed off. And let's go up close and personal with the NA driver. See if he can make it 2 poles in 3 days.
I was scared back to the lot with the first one over the line.
Felix still in the pits, so maybe just going for the 1 run. Maybe now he's knocked CTFD out, he's taking the time to laugh at him.
He's a complicated lad.
So 11.3 for Veloce. 11.5. CM21 has invalidated. So a couple of small surprises to start off Q3. What can Smaller Smiley manage? 11.7. P3. Greg goes P4.
But it's
Deflated goes second.
Veloce has some really good pace there. Wiggles has invalidated.
If we don't get a 10, you're actually going to cry. Well, Daniel will be hoping that no one gets a 10, because his record will be gone. Wasn't the best by Danny. 116.8, and as I suspected, he did go again, but this one is invalid. What about Snacks then? On a second run. Felix out of the pits finally, with maybe just 1 run. Snacks a whopping 11 seconds up through the middle sector. Difficult to judge where people are going to be when they've done a slow banker lap, but we're going to find out now. It's 11.2 and it's provisional pole for Snacks. Very, very well done. Are you talking about Felix, Joseph? So, Felix and Ross yet to set a time. CM21 likewise. Felix starting a new run. Ross just behind him in the third sector. Snacks on the way back into the pits after that provisional pole lap time. If Deflated set his lap time 1 millisecond slower, that would be very satisfying with a 0.309, 0.409, 0.509, but I'll have to wait for another day.
No, Veloce needs to go 2 milliseconds faster. 307, 408, 509.
No.
Yes.
The 09s is satisfying enough.
Yeah.
If they could all just make it like a... If Veloce could make it a 300.
Get exactly the same time.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Then it'd just be amazing. Easy.
Felix, oh, that's wide. And it would have been an 11.8, so it would have slotted into P6 there ahead of Greg. Not too bad pace-wise, but obviously might have lost a little bit of time on that last corner as well.
Out. But I imagine he's only gone on one, because he's only got one new set. I imagine this is the new set, so if he does go out again, it'll be probably one.
He's a whopper. He's taken TC, auto gears off and got faster. Well, they do make you faster.
I think I'm still struggling.
Yes, that 12.1 is not the best he's ever done. He did a 0.7 in Q1, a 0.5 in Q2, so track evolution would dictate that he does a 0.3 this session.
And Greg have gone out earlier than everyone else.
Yeah, smart move, just in case CM21 messes up his first attempt. He's got enough time to go for another run.
Yeah, but the slightly out, the track conditions may change a little bit, but shouldn't be too much.
So let's see. CM21 can be an IRL pole sitter. No pole positions yet to his name. Only a handful of races, but a handful of podiums to go with it. That's been very impressive.
Cut over marbles on the page.
My first race is CM21 with TD 3 years ago during lockdown.
At this track.
At this track, ironically. And CM21 decided to overtake the safety car and got disqualified. It was very funny at the time.
That was a different race.
Oh, was it?
That was a different, yeah. Because he finished second behind me.
Oh, you're quick to mention that. For those wondering, yes, the league wasn't very competitive. If me and TD are fighting for wins.
Wow. Could have said. Anyway, couple line to go.
Oh, and he's in the pits. It looked good enough. It might not. He's going for a new set of tyres, I reckon. So he sacrificed this run to go for a new set of tyres. Greg.
Yeah, goes fifth.
Very nice. And Daniel Susan.
Very close behind Daniel as well. Daniel's on a lap. I mean, this Alfa Romeo needs to be careful. And does. And there's another Alfa Romeo in the front.
They're scheming against him. I can sense it.
That was lovely turning too.
Chaz is on par with Snacks at Sector 2 split, says Josh, so might just have had a slight gut feeling that that run wasn't quite good enough to get pole.
Daniel 3 times up, so we'll go pole at the minute. But this Alfa Romeo won't help do very good.
Oh, and it's wide!
Ooh.
And he's invalidated. You
and he
just
has
saw
a
it was a little
through.
twitch in the steering. Daniel will complete the lap to probably see what it was. It's 11.4 in the end, but
Above the line anyway. Yeah,
so
I don't think it was very happy with Veloxo. Veloxo didn't actually do anything wrong, but I don't think I'd be happy without a bit of that pull.
it's just distracting when you've got a car
Yeah.
about a second or two down in front of you. Because as I say, I don't think Veloce did anything wrong. It was just the presence alone was enough to cause a bit of distraction, maybe.
Wiggles on 6.
It's an awkward spot for Deflated to try and get out of the way, but he does so, and Dragon roars on through.
Isn't improving.
No, I don't think he had the best sector 1, and
No, it looked like he had a lot of marbles through turn 5. I had to count the corner, so.
and Veloce pits, so that is it for Veloce. Snacks starting a run. Daniel is gearing up. Oh, and he's cutting the track, is Daniel Susan.
I think he's just keeping out of the way smaller.
I think. Oh, he's into the pits anyway, so it doesn't really make too much difference. A smaller Smiley, 11.2, and provisionally goes onto the front row of the grid. Mr. Wiggles has backed off. Felix has put a banker in, but is going again, and CM21 is out there as well. On board with
Snacks backed off, so that's it for Snacks.
Ross, 11.5. That's much more like it, but it's only P7, and Mr. Wiggles is only P8. So it will be CM21 next, who we should be watching. Snacks holds provisional pole. Smaller is not going to get it. He has backed off after that incredible run that's put in P2.
Snacks backed off as well, so it's between Deflated and CM21.
Felix is out there as well. I'm sure he'd be improving on that 17.2.
I've got Felix quickly.
CM21 11.0 and goes provisional pole. What a lap! We're not into the 10s, and it is not the records.
Isn't above at the minute.
Deflated coming around the final corner. Can he ruin CM21's pole party?
Oh.
No, he can't, but it's so close. Felix improves to 11.7, makes it 3/4 of a second for the top 10 gap, but still staying in P10 on this occasion. CM21 though, take a bow, son. First IRL pole position. Yeah, I think the stars have aligned for CM21 here tonight, with no 10-10 Josh Joseph in Q3. Daniel not quite on the pace he was with that validation. But not to take anything away from that lap. Absolutely incredible stuff. Mr. Wiggles says he messed up his sector 1. Best quality this season for Snacks. Well, very, very well done. And best quality of the league so far for CM21. First pole position in the league. Mighty congratulations. Deflated, usual suspects on the front row of the grids, and will be hoping to outscore his teammate Josh to create some more gap between him and his teammate in the championship. Snacks, Smaller Smiley on row 2, Veloce and Daniel on row 3, Greg and Ross on row number 4, and Wiggles and Felix on the 5th row of the grid.
Well, I'll tell you the problem for Chess. He says he has high downforce, and he is going to get eaten alive in the race. So.
Well, this is the thing. Starting on pole, we saw it on Tuesday night with 10-10. He got a decent gap and managed it. If you can get the
It's
drivers
just whether it can get
out
that
of
gap.
the DRS behind, he should be fine. Assuming his pace and consistency is good enough, of course, but we will have to wait and see. Finally did a second run in Q3. Deflated's been very irritated that he hasn't quite got his second run good enough in Q3 recently, so I'm happy for you, Deflated. I'm a bit late on my graphics, I'll be honest.
That ain't good enough.
I'm not slacking, it's just there's been a lot
You
of
are.
other bits to do that have more priority, so we won't have featured driver tonight. I don't want to just read it out, I want the graphic on the screen. I think it's better. Unless we read out your form, TD.
Sure.
You're not racing.
Sure, go for it.
I can make up
haven't
whatever I want
read it
here.
anyway, so go for it.
I can make it up for all I know. Actually, let's do an interview with you.
No.
You didn't know I was going to do this.
No.
Right then. This isn't working. I'm going to do an interview with TD live on stream. This could go one of two ways, and I imagine it will go awfully wrong.
A 3-minute interview.
Okay. TD.
That's my name.
What do you do?
I work in a warehouse.
Is that it? Like, talk us through what you do on a day-to-day basis.
I wake up. Wait, do you want a normal day or do you want a work day?
A work day, why not?
Right, so I wake up, I get my bowl of cereal. Well, I get changed first. Get a bowl of cereal.
What cereal do you have? This is important.
Oh, I can't remember what it's called. I'm going to find the name of it.
You can't remember what the cereal you had this morning is?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, have my cereal. Get up, brush my teeth. And then unlock the door. Go to work. Get to work. Do work. Guys. Do a bit more work. Have my lunch. Do a bit more work, guys. Have a break. Bit more work, guys. Finish work. Drive home. Get into bed. Fall asleep. Wake up. Get a shower. Get my clothes ready. Get my lunch ready for tomorrow. Go to bed.
Sounds fun. This is what being an adult is, kids, if you're watching. That's pretty much what happens in life.
Not a good idea.
Let's make it more F1 related. Do you have a favourite driver in F1 at the moment?
Yeah. It's Lewis Hamilton and George Russell.
Lovely. And do you have a favourite driver from a previous era of Formula 1?
I started watching F1 in 2017 for
Did you not want
Lewis
to, like...
Hamilton.
Is there someone previously, like a Senna or a Prost, you would just love to watch in the flesh or something?
I'd have loved to have seen Senna.
Yeah.
Schumacher was... I used to, but he got a bit dirty, so...
Fair enough.
I'd love to see Senna. I'd have loved to have seen Senna.
And if you could have any track on the calendar that's not on the calendar at the moment, what would you have?
Malaysia. Or Hockenheim.
Decent shouts. Chat, Malaysia or Hockenheim in the chat, which is your preference? I believe we are going to get going very soon.
Well, it is 32, and we are currently...
Yes,
nearly 33, so it should be about to start.
the drivers are allowed to ready up at the time given in the drivers' briefing chat in Discord. So any moment now we will be getting going. No formation lap, remember. Too many bugs and issues.
Bugs.
So when our screen changes, the race will be happening.
I hate, but it doesn't say timer anymore.
I know. We were talking after Tuesday's race about maybe putting broadcast formation lap on.
It's not,
Just
not
to
a bad
see,
shout.
just to see if there's no bugs and stuff. We did do some testing. I think we need to do a bit more. But that is for another day. And today, CM21 hopes that he can convert his first pole position into his first race victory, and he's got a decent enough start. Plenty of movement going on in the back. The Haas of 1010 just swerving to the middle. Oh, ghosted is Felix, and he's dropped a couple of places. Good starts for 1010 up to 12th, Joseph up to 15th, Josh up to 16th, and in the foreground you can see Daniel and Greg battling, and Ross has capitalised on that overtake from Daniel and has got past Greg as well, although the move isn't quite fully completed yet, but now it is. Let's have a look at the tyres they are using.
Joseph going very aggressive from the start on the soft tyres.
More
starting off, so wanting to get in the positions up.
More side-by-side action this time with Greg. We've got some contact, and Jacob has been involved in that. Not quite sure what happened, but you did see a bit of a dive bomb potentially happening into turn number 10.
The player's right in the back of Chazia. He's gaining speed. He's going to go a bit look towards the inside turn 1.
No, he's not quite alongside.
Backs out.
It didn't look like he was quite alongside.
Well,
1010 already up to 10th. Started 15th. So Joseph opting for the soft compound tyre, you will notice. Using that compound really nicely in the opening lap.
Josh is just biding his time, I imagine. He can't afford contact really at this stage.
Tiny bit wide at turn 9 for CTFD. Felix and CTFD. This is a nice little battle between two friendships. Will this be the end of the friendship?
Oh, very close.
Still going side by side.
Oh, I love the battle. Oh, a little bit of contact, I think.
Ooh, Jacob thought about going for a move down the inside of the final corner, but thought better of it, and now, because of that slight lift, now finds himself under a bit of pressure from the reigning 81 champion. As you see in the foreground, Felix getting past CTFD into turn 1. Jacob decides to swing it round late on the brakes, but I don't think that was the smartest manoeuvre. I think just let
Definitely
Josh go.
not Josh.
He's got down the inside there, just let him go, and as a result he's lost a couple of places more. Greg is losing ground, but to be fair, he is getting overtaken from some very quick drivers.
Oh, that's a good inside road. Around the outside of turn 5 and turn 7.
So those top 3 will be hoping that Snacks doesn't get past. With the medium compound on the car, obviously has a bit more grip in this phase of the race. Snacks will be hoping he can get past these guys ahead of him and start to build a gap before the pit stop window opens.
It's a good opportunity for deflating now, probably using overtake DRS, less wings in charge, goes down the inside, attempt to get it up.
Yeah, but this can go both ways. CM21 next lap, if he's within a second of the car ahead, he will have the DRS power.
First time penalty.
And with all the battling going on between CTFD and Felix, I'm not too surprised.
Don't be
when-
surprised if that isn't not the last one anyway.
Yes, when drivers are going side by side with each other, it's very common for drivers to get warnings and time penalties. No reflection, of course, on that driver's skill, of course. Everyone's still within a second of the car ahead, with the exception of Zidane, who has had a bit of an issue on lap 2, I believe, and dropped back a few seconds.
I think he's disconnected.
Oh, well, that's not.
Yes.
That's not great. You want to invite him back for me?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. This is CM21's opportunity. Remember, fastest lap in this race will get £20 gift card from Rids, which was Rids and Goldilocks, sorry, which was due last week, but with the voided result, will not be taking place for obvious reasons. Thank you very much for the follow F1 Russell63. I can't imagine who you support in real life F1. Let us know in the chat. And don't forget, ! giveaway in the Twitch chat. It will bring up a link to a Google form. You can answer 2 questions. That's all you need to do. And you are entered into a big giveaway for a chance to win a £40 Amazon gift card that is commemorating our 250th league race coming up in 2 weeks' time at Austria. So make sure you get entering in that. 1 entry per person. Make sure your contact detail you provide is correct. Otherwise, I will not be able to contact you should you win.
So he's keeping right in the back of the third here.
Felix is the first one to drop out of DRS train. You can just see as the Ferrari of Joseph Hels comes around the final corner, there's a little bit of a gap behind, but Felix is trying to catch up. And Ross and Daniel swapping places into turn 1.
The problem for Felix now is, now that he's fallen out of the DRS, like we've seen on a lot of tracks, it's extremely hard to get back into the DRS.
Well, he's doing a mighty fine job to get back in range. If Joseph Hales can use a bit of ERS here to just get closer to 10-10, then maybe Felix will not get the DRS anymore, but I think that opportunity is now gone. But of course, Joseph's tyres are going to start to drag now, and Joseph's the one potentially dropping out of DRS range.
Well, what's happened to Greg? He's down to 19.
He drops at the end of lap 5. I'm not too sure what happened. Maybe it was a snap, maybe it was a battle with someone, but that's just a little bit of ground. And CM21, rear wing open, DRS enabled, and this time retakes the lead.
Waller's doing extremely well here.
I think this is the most confident I've seen Smaller in a long time, and it might just be the track, it might just be he's found the perfect setup. Oh, Joseph Hales is out, and he has crashed at turn 3, and that is a full course safety car. Zidane Smithy has been saved. And good news for CM21.
Weird place. I can't imagine that's just going to be Tyler losing it himself.
Well, Zidane was in... Joseph, was in 10th place in between 10-10 and Felix, and Joseph was potentially going to slip out of DRS range, so there's a chance that Felix was on the back of Joseph there.
Possibly, but we don't know.
And will anyone pit? I imagine Zidane will
I can
pit.
see some mediums coming in.
I could see some staying out as well. Oh, deflated pits. No, he doesn't. I think it was...
Felix in. Josh in, CTFD in, Jacob, Greg. Oh,
I don't know why I said deflated pit. On my screen it looked like someone was going into the pits, but I think...
deflated Duke to go in.
Oh, right. That would explain it.
Yeah.
I'm not going crazy then. It's, you know. CTFD, onto soft compounds. Felix onto hards, Josh onto mediums, Jacob mediums, Greg onto hard, and Zidane onto another set of soft tyres. Is he still
I
in?
imagine Josh is going to be doing 2 mediums from now.
And
so Zidane he's going to have faster pace.
Is still ghosted, so he's not in the lobby.
Yeah.
So that is an AI decision to go on to another set of soft tyres.
What a great decision that is. It's like Mercedes strategy in Zandvoort.
I don't think this is a bad call to pit.
No, I don't.
Felix can easily go to the end. Josh can go to the end, but his tyres will be screaming at the end of the Grand Prix.
I imagine it'll be aggressive from Josh. 2 medium strategies. Try and gain as much time as possible. HSE definitely can't go to the end.
Oh, and there is a link in chat of Joseph Ailes, I believe, crashing. I haven't checked it, but feel free to watch it at your leisure. Replay it, put it as your screensaver.
Good idea.
So, safety car will extend the life of the tyres, which means some of those drivers on the hard compound may be stretching it out to around about lap 23, 24, and then go on the soft compound. That is a potential outcome. Those on the mediums, I imagine, will just be on plan A. I don't imagine any medium soft strategies happening tonight.
I'll be impressed if it does happen.
And I will bet my left arm that the safety car will be in this lap.
Wow, how could you guess?
I wouldn't have bet my left arm if it was a guess. I'm fond of my left arm.
I will bet penny, but it doesn't.
If it doesn't now, I'm taking that penny.
Eh? That's how much I know that it's going to come in.
No, the only pennies I've got nowadays are pennies in the packet of pasta in my cupboard.
Oh dear, Joseph. I have just watched what happened to me. Got on
What
the curve
happened?
and lost it.
Oh dear.
Shock. Safety car in.
My left arm's safe. Not that I need it, I'm right-handed. CM21. Both hands firmly planted on his wheel and weaving. I don't believe he'll get too much more temperature in the tyres by doing this, but I think maybe he's just trying to catch deflated out. And he's done a good enough job, I would say. 4/10 out of the final corner is good enough. But how much ERS are these guys using? Nothing for deflated. And movement, perhaps from Ross, but not quite close enough to Veloce. Everyone back in a big DRS train without the DRS, so just choo-choo at the moment.
Oh, smaller. I'm deflated. Oh, he's got it.
Wow. Lovely move from Smaller. Smaller seems to enjoy the European tracks. His first IIRL race victory was, I believe, at Imola.
It was.
So maybe he just enjoys these European tracks here. As Ross, I saw into turn 10, just having a look down the inside. Feels he's a bit more confident, perhaps on these mediums. Bit of a mistake for Snacks.
Ooh, CCC. And another
And
safety car.
another safety. What's happened to CTFD then? People
It's
are boxing.
Yeah, it's sensible if you're unboxed already.
So, Daniel, Wiggles,
And that's gonna
Avenicus.
Anyone that's pitted now, that's gonna ruin top winners. Because they're already caught up to the safety car.
Josh has lost ground. I'm not sure when, but he was behind Felix. So he has lost place
Possibly
to Greg.
just avoiding contact with CTFD.
Maybe. That's a decent shout, I believe. Someone spun, so there was a gap up the inside. I went for it, and they acted like I didn't exist. Says CTFD. Who was it that spun? Was it No,
Possibly Jacob.
Can't have been Josh. I think Jacob was behind. It might have been someone like Top Gun or called Camper or maybe Padge. Maybe someone who hasn't pitted yet. Yeah, hopefully we find out that information from CTFD. Whilst there's a break, I would absolutely love it if Codemasters can listen to me for a second. Please can I make the leaderboard smaller?
No.
Please? I would like it just a touch smaller.
Really not loud.
If they're listening, which, let's be honest, we're world famous league.
Ooh. Next piece.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad call from Snacks. He can go on to hard compound for the rest of the Grand Prix, and
Whee! Look who's joined.
welcome back, Zidane.
Only 12 laps into the race.
Welcome to 13th position. But Zidane will have to box for a different compound of tyres. He's used 2 soft sets already.
You'll be wondering why he is so.
But yes, Codemasters, if you're listening, I would love to be able to customise the spectator.
Yeah, I would as well.
OSD.
It
That'd
is
be
a bit
amazing.
big. He is in the car now, by the way.
And I would love to remove that thing on the bottom left, EA Sports F123. You can remove it.
I think that's just more sponsoring.
I know it's sponsoring, but we all know it's EA Sports F123.
You never know, this might be 22 with mods.
If anyone's modding, they're getting kicked.
Well,
Cold Camper and Padge touched on the corner, so it went 3 wide with Josh behind them.
yeah.
I went up Josh's inside, but he basically just told me to do one, and now I'm dead. So that is why Josh has slipped to behind Greg and Zidane.
Anyway, there to go. Where will we go this time? I reckon in exactly the same place.
There's a way to get custom graphic up, like the Creator League. Must be a plugin to something. Maybe we can chat after the race, Joseph. Whilst I'm not quite preoccupied.
Oh, he's going later this time. Way later.
He's gone now.
Oh, and Veloci overtaken the braces. That isn't very good.
Yeah, I think Veloce jumped the gun. He just assumed that Chas was going to go in exactly the same place. Camper here, next to
contact.
yeah, the Haas car of Ross.
Not very good.
Yeah, Ross.
Inside of 10-10.
And Top Gun, out of the ruins of qualifying, where he left in Q1, fighting his way back
Carnage.
up into the top 7, and I get the feeling these safety cars are causing drivers to be a little bit impatient here. We've seen this before in 81. There's plenty of movement.
This is scary.
Sedan, oh, and that's contact. It's a reset to track, and it's more incidents with Josh.
That was Josh's fault. He was just off the track avoided.
Didn't quite see enough to really make a decision on whose fault that was, if any. But
it was Daniel and Sedan who had the contact.
Oh, okay. So Josh has had to avoid contact again.
Yeah.
Oh, and a spin! Paget Wiggles! Of all the people! Two of the fourth highest drivers in this league who've done the most races making contact. And you hate to see it, you really do. Josh is onto a soft set of tyres. He knows about the fastest lap, that's what he's focused on now. So much drama in this race. That's the thing, safety cars bring people together, and when people...
Oh, Daniel will be inside us next.
When people get a little bit impatient of being stuck behind a safety car, they want to make as much ground as they can, and that is understandable, of course. I'm not going to take that away from the drivers, but sometimes it has to be in moderation. You have to be clean and go for a move when the time is right. Felix here is in a net lead of the race. Once all that top 7 have to make their mandatory pit stops, Felix will, as things stand, be leading the Grand Prix.
Where have you heard that?
A double loss of position there for God Camper with the DRS firmly shut. Oh, what a spin! Oh, God Camper! And Avenicus has been collected. God Camper just dropped it in turn 3.
Tyres coming in.
And Avenicus had no choice. He was a passenger in the collision, and bits of his front wing are missing. That's desperately unlucky for Avenicus, and obviously God Camper's race has suffered as well. But yes, some high-profile names there making a few mistakes on this restart.
Felix is all over the back of Top Gun and Ross. Oh, Ross just it.
Yeah, these little group needs to be careful here. They don't lose too much ground to the top 4. At the moment, Top Gun is not in DRS range.
By Felix. Down the inside of Top Gun and down the inside of Ross.
Oh, and there's contact! Oh, and they're 3 wide! And that's not going to end well. And Jacob was... I think Jacob was the person who made it 3 wide, and in the end he's actually lost more positions by doing so. Josh, fastest lap of the race, £20 richer as things stand. Very kind sponsor by Rids and Goldilocks. Yeah, that was a nice move, very calculated. I believe 10-10 is just letting go there. Very smart from 10-10. He knows that there's lots of incidents happening, just needs to keep his nose clean. It doesn't really matter if you lose track position at this point, because everyone's so close together. Daniel, though, will be eager to get on with this. He knows Felix is on a new set of tyres and can go to the end, so that's his main rival at this point in the race. But Daniel needs to safely get past Ross as soon as he can. Inflated now. No move on Smaller Smiley, who leads the Grand Prix for the first time this season.
Daniel does get past Ross.
And CM21 on plan A for strategy, onto a set of medium compound tyres for the rest of the race.
And in 15th, and look how far down he is.
I will cancel that, Joseph, and you can try again.
Oh, Daniel, big massive side there.
Felix is flying right now.
He wants to get past the lock here and he's driving his front, but he probably loses. They've all got the RS, so it's extremely hard for him to actually get into them. He's like a Fernando. Fernando one.
So Daniel on the charge.
Oh,
Ooh, and
that's
uncoordinated.
going to be very good.
And Veloce must be really annoyed at this. See how much time he actually loses with this double stack. I reckon about 3 seconds. Yeah, roughly 3 seconds Veloce has lost there. So his podium hopes
compared to smaller.
Podium hopes of Veloce might have just taken a huge blow. And with pit stops happening, gaps are forming in that top 4, but Felix has got well back in range here. And he's pulling away from Daniel.
He's pulled away from Daniel on this lap.
Are we sure it's actually Felix racing? Maybe it's Killian on Felix's account.
Yeah, I know what I mean.
I have not seen this pace from Felix in a while. I know I've seen it in 82, but...
It's CTFD and he's paying his assist off.
And genuinely, we're going to see a move for the lead of the race. And why has it deflated? Boxed? Because the undercut is so powerful at this track. Anyways, he's seen as all of his rivals have pitted around him. 1010 and Top Gun have now pitted behind on track as well. So deflated here is banking on another safety car perhaps. And Felix leads an 81 race for the first time in his career.
What a legend.
A nice four-way battle here. Snacks,
This man
Ross.
was in AT2 this season, and now he's leading of it.
Safe to assume, I think, as management, we got that one wrong, putting Felix in 82.
I'm pretty sure we did somehow.
So, the battle for the win will be between Felix and Daniel. We know Daniel's more than capable. Will Felix hold it together? I imagine Deflated will be in this lap for a pit stop, and I imagine Ross also.
I'm actually surprised he keeps either maintaining the gap or pulling away from Daniel. And we know Daniel's a class driver because he got pole on Tuesday.
Ross pits, but Deflated doesn't. This is baffling, and Deflated was close enough to go for a move there into turn 1, only a tenth and a half away, but chose not to, so Felix, I imagine, just wants Deflated to get out the way. He just wants him to box, he doesn't have to look behind him, doesn't have to worry that there's a Red Bull in his mirrors, just wants some free space so he can manage the gap to Daniel. But Daniel's using this as an opportunity to close in.
He's maybe hoping that Deflated holds Daniel up as well.
But for that to happen, Felix needs to drop Deflated. And at the moment, that hasn't happened. A very intriguing race. Don't forget, £20 still on the line for fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Currently held by Josh. But still plenty of time for people to go for that later in the race. Deflated stays out again. And this time, will he go for the move? No DRS for Daniel. And he is going for it. So maybe Deflated's just dumping some energy here. Maybe Deflated's annoyed that Felix did so well in 82, and maybe he's trying to personally hold Felix up.
Chaz is currently 15
So,
seconds off the lead. 14 laps, is it? That is at least a second a lap, which is a big feat to do.
So when Deflated pits, eventually, he will come out in 11th, behind Smaller Smiley, ahead of 10-10. There's a nice little 6-second gap there. So Deflated will be out of the points, but Zidane must pit again. He's not used 2 different compounds, and he's went 13 laps on that set of soft tyres, excuse me.
As you do.
As you do, and here he goes into the pits. And this time Felix has Williams of Daniel Susan all over the back of him. Felix is not Deflated, sorry, it's not on Felix Christmas card list at the moment.
He's coming there. A double Aston Martin podium.
And that is why Deflated has stayed out so long. He's on to soft tyres. The strategy makes sense.
I did think that's what he was doing.
And as predicted, Deflated has come out in between what was Smaller Smiley and 10-10, now Cod Camper and Top Gun. And Zidane has boxed this lap as well, so Deflated 10th instead of 11th, as we predicted. Snacks doing really well, has to be said. 3.5 seconds away from these leading duo. And Jacob behind, who can get to the end of the race on those mediums, is a lovely 3 seconds behind. So Snacks, if he can keep his race clean, free of penalties, hope that these two start battling, Snacks might come back into this. Greg doing really well. P5. His nose out of incidents and could be on for a top 4 finish here if he's good. Mr. Wiggles, good recovery drive at the moment after that earlier collision with Padge in the final corner. Currently holding 6th place, but has CM21 and Smaller behind on faster tyres closing in. Cod Camper finally pits for the first time in this race. Deflated will be the quickest driver out there, and hoping to steal that £20 away from his teammate at the moment. Top Gun, after starting near the back of the grid, in the top 10 at the moment, is not too bad, and has 10-10 for company and Veloce Dragon. Ross needs a couple of seconds to catch up with that trio battling for 10th.
Oh, and Victor's just goes to a spin. Oh, but this mistake by Felix is just gone off the track at 10-10.
And a mistake for Snacks as well. He's now 4 point something behind instead of 3 point something. And Jacob has closed in as well by a few tenths. So here we go. Daniel with the DRS dumps Felix out of the lead of the race. But for how long? Can Felix hold on? Felix, no stranger to an 81 podium. Got one at Miami last season, I believe.
Nope.
What track
Got
was
one
it
at
then?
Singapore.
Singapore, same thing.
He would have got one at Miami, but he spun on the last lap.
Well, there we go. Felix hoping for retribution, and I think safe to say if he gets podium here tonight, he will never be invited back to 82 ever again.
Where's mine? Like, I ain't got an 81 podium this series.
You've got an 81 pole. I don't want to hear it from you.
And what season was that?
Less than 10.
That was the first season. In F1 2021.
You know, doesn't really matter what game it was, right? He's still got one. Jacob Pitts. So maybe those mediums can't get to the end. Maybe the tyre deg's a bit too high.
You lied to us all.
I don't know, I thought it was possible, but maybe the tyres would be like on 75 to 80% at the end of the race. But maybe Jacob's more interested in the £20 fastest lap prize, which is why he's gone onto soft compound tyres, maybe. CM21, not out of this. 8 laps remaining.
It's about 11 seconds off now, though, so it's a
Needs
bit
to
hard for them to get a win, maybe a podium.
Yeah, Snack's only 6 seconds up the road, so CM21 well in the hunt for a podium. Daniel and Felix look the two obvious contenders for a podium. CM21 needs to get this move done now, and does get it done. Very nicely done. And if he can catch up to the back of Greg, who is in no man's land, but a very comfortable 4th no man's land, we'll be happy that that's happened.
Chaz has 5 seconds to Snacks at the minute, which is possible in 7, 8 laps.
I'd say every one of those top 5 deserve a podium tonight.
Yeah.
And it's just a shame.
I think Smaller deserves one as well, which is annoying for him.
Yeah, I think Deflated should have maybe boxed under safety car, because now he's finding himself in a DRS train behind Smaller Wiggles and CM21, which means that that new set of soft tyres he's on, or relatively new, he's not really using the benefit of those soft tyres at the moment. He's just stuck behind Smaller Smiley. Avenicus with the fastest lap of the race. Provisionally. How'd you know?
I bet you your left arm that Josh Pitter's hits for the thing.
He's on 12 lap hold soft tyres. I'm not sure how much how much more laps they've got in them, but probably not 6, which is how many laps are remaining.
He will do 4. He will pitch on lap 31.
Battle is intense at the top, but Deflated's gone for the move on Mr. Wiggles, both in the same party. Will it be a party for Deflated Wee into 6th place? Yes, it will. Nice move, very well constructed move there around the outside of 4, had the inside for 5, very nicely concocted. And the next move that could be happening is CM21 with DRS open. Greg knows that CM21 is on better tyres, gives him the inside line, says if you want to go, just go, don't hold me up too much. Deflated though, looking to capitalise round the outside, gets the good traction and a lovely move at the penultimate corner around the outside of Greg. This could be a podium fight between Snacks, CM21 and Deflated here. I don't count out Smaller Smiley and Wiggles. They are fighting into turn 1, and Smaller Smiley gets up into 7th place. Yeah, Deflated's got... He's got the momentum now, Deflated. He's got past those 4 drivers he was stuck behind. And smells blood.
Got only 4 seconds to catch up to Snacks. But it's whether his tyres will actually hold on.
Zidane boxes for a new set of soft tyres. He didn't use an awful lot in Q1 as he went out in Q1, so he's got plenty at his disposal to set a fastest lap attempt. Josh still going on 14 lap old soft tyres. I imagine he's just charging the battery now and will box in a few laps time as TD suggested. Only 2 time penalties so far, Mr. Wiggles and Zidane. So they've all been pretty clean and consistent. Felix still within striking distance. I imagine here Felix is just being cautious, letting Daniel use his ERS. Felix can save it, use the DRS to keep within a second, and then in the last couple of laps maybe go for a move for the race win. And this gap this battle has suddenly merged into one giant battle here for 5th place. CM21 leads Greg, Smaller, Wiggles, 1010 and Top Gun, all occupying the points positions. And don't forget, chat, exclamation mark giveaway. Type it in the chat, you'll get a link, it will give you a Google form. Just fill it out, it will take you 60 seconds, if that, and you'll be entered into our giveaway for a chance to win £40 Amazon gift card, which will be closing on Tuesday the 12th of September 2023. And that on that day we will have our 250th league race at Austria. So make sure you enter. If you don't think you've entered already, check the link again. If it allows you to enter, please do enter. And on Thursday the 14th of September we will have a number generator, and we will find out who has won. Plenty of stuff to watch. Josh is battling Jacob for 13th. As we said, CM21 defending 5th from 5 drivers. Deflated Wee starting to make inroads towards Snacks, but only a few laps left, and 2.8 is the gap. Felix here, this is the furthest back he's been from Daniel since Daniel made that overtake a few laps ago. So as is Felix's tyres starting to fail him. 22 laps now he's been on those hard tyres since the first safety car on lap 8, I believe.
Oh, Daniel made a mistake.
Yeah, he went too deep into turn 1, and you can see how much that's cost him. It's cost him half a second. Could that cost Daniel the win? As we end,
just needs to keep on the back of Daniel now.
depends how many warnings these two have got. If Felix is on 2 warnings, he just needs to prioritise not getting any from now on. If Daniel's on 2 warnings, he needs to prioritise not getting any.
Felix is on 2, Daniel's on 1.
There we go, Felix under a little bit more pressure, can't afford to be super aggressive as they start the final 2 laps of this Grand Prix, and we still don't know who's going to win. We still don't know who's going to be on the podium, because Deflated is gaining on Snacks, but he's 2.1.
8/10 this lap.
He's 2.1 behind with only 2 laps remaining, so he needs to get within DRS range this lap. So he needs to gain 1.1 this lap to maybe make a move into turn 1 on the final lap of the race. Aside from that, I'm not sure how Deflated can get that podium.
Josh has picked.
And so is Ross, and so is Codcamper. So 3 drivers to look at in the final lap of the race. Ross, Codcamper, Josh, all going for that £20 fastest lap prize. Very generously donated by Goldilocks and Riz. Thank you once again. As we approach the end of this Grand Prix, TD, who is your suggestion for driver of the day? Ooh, Padge has crashed at turn 3, but with only 2 laps remaining. No safety car. And there's not too many people in that.
Felix just made a mistake there, and that'll be his chances over.
1 lap remaining.
On the inside of the final corner.
Felix not quite close enough. Deflated has not got DRS. He's gained by 8/10, but that is not quite enough to give him DRS into this final lap of the Grand Prix. We've got 1010 and Smaller Smiley looking to go for a fight side by side in turn 1, and that is a beautiful move from Smaller Smiley round the outside. 1010 looking to fight back. Those hard compound tyres are going to give more grip in this stage of the race. Can he get that 6th place back from Smaller Smiley? Josh, fastest lap of the Grand Prix. On board with Daniel, Felix has driven absolutely phenomenally tonight and deserves the podium. But it looks like Daniel has just had that extra couple of tenths in the locker and takes the Spanish Grand Prix. Checkered flag. Felix agonising to his first 81 victory, but he'll be chuffed with a P2. Deflated does get within DRS range of Snacks on the final lap, but 1 lap too late for him. CM21, after that pit stop earlier on, gets 5th place. I'm sure he won't be too disappointed with that. Smaller Smiley ahead of 1010. Greg and Top Gun and Veloce push Wiggles out of the points on time penalties. Jacob gets P12, and here's a battle not only on track but for the fastest lap of the race. Josh has it at the moment, but who will keep it as Josh and Ross go toe to toe? And
Josh gets it.
Josh has stopped on track. Avenica's Codcampers.
To see if Codcamper gets it.
Codcamper's going for the final fastest lap as well, but doesn't get it. Josh is doing donuts.
Brilliant.
Josh hasn't quite had the race that he was hoping for the championship priority as he drives into the wall.
A wall, Josh.
Thankfully, he does cross the line to finish this Grand Prix in 16th place. There is a lot of excitement going on now. Snacks is thrilled. First 81 podium, right? I don't know, Snacks. I will have a very, very quick look for you. But it genuinely might be. No, it's not. It's not your first 81 podium, so I do apologise. You have, I think, 2. You have 2 previous. So it's not your first, Snacks, but congratulations. Well deserved. Very impressive. And Felix, well, what can we say? That is absolutely incredible drive. From 10th on the grid up into 2nd place and within touching distance of the win.
Faster lap than Daniel.
Sorry?
And a faster lap than Daniel.
Very, very true.
Felix, I don't care what Tim says. You are driving today.
And the Aston Martins on the podium together. Very nicely done, scoring more points tonight than Daniel in the Williams.
You just said damn Daniel.
I didn't, but I probably should have tonight. Couple of DNFs, CTFD Joseph just crashing out, excuse me. A few incidents which could be reported to the stewards, so we'll have to say that these results are provisional. They may not stay the same, but hopefully they do. Yes, Rids, it is. Josh with the fastest lap. Well, that was mighty. That was mighty exciting. I will tag Josh and you in a message, Goldilocks, after this race. Well, yeah, thank you very much, TD, for joining me.
You're welcome.
It was a late call, so I appreciate you doing that.
Basically, it was either I go and do commentating or I fall asleep, so...
But I'm glad you chose to do comms with me. That was really fun. That was so much fun, so Smaller Smiley. Bloody safety cars, though. Yes, very impressive stuff from Smaller Smiley and a load of other drivers. Deciding special mentions in Driver of the Day is going to be difficult, but we will get that in the Discord. Don't forget, exclamation mark giveaway in the chat. The giveaway is live until Tuesday the 12th of September, so even if you don't do it right now, make sure you do it before the 12th of September. As soon as Wednesday the 13th hits, the giveaway will be closed, so make sure you get your entry in. Anyone can enter, absolutely anyone, for a chance to win a £40 Amazon gift card. Well done to Josh for winning the fastest lap of the race, and well done to Daniel for his second race win of the season. Thank you very much, TD, for joining me.
You're welcome.
Thank you once again. Sunday, we will be in 82 for the Spanish Grand Prix for round number 8, and next week in round number 9, we will be in Canada, TD's favourite circuit. So make sure you join us.
I am not here, so I don't really care.
And
I'll be in sunny Tenerife while you lot are all doing Canada, so
I'll stay at home.
have fun.
I'll stay at home in Canada. It's fine. So yes, join us in Canada next week for AT1, and of course on Tuesday night for No Assist, all kicking off at 7:30 PM GMT. Make sure you check out the YouTube channel. All the races will be uploaded to that as well a few days after the race.
Especially Monaco.
Especially not Monaco. Yes, thank you very much for joining us. We will see you on Sunday night, and have a good one.